everyone, and welcome to Scrap Saturdays. I hope you're doing well. This is a special layout for this Saturday as it's my wedding anniversary. So I kind of jumped ahead. I don't think this was like in the sequence, but it's a beautiful picture of myself and Alan, and there's way more glamorous ones. But I purposely picked this one because I think that's the topic I want to talk about is the raw and realness. And these two photos are of when we went on a cruise. Cruise. Like a tiny mini cruise ship. And on the island that we were staying on, the main island, there's a tiny island off to the side that's called Porto Santo. And it's beautiful. I had never been, and my husband's never been, and it's Gabriella's birthday somewhere in the middle of our vacation. So I thought, what a wonderful way to spend your birthday, to wake up somewhere where none of us have ever gone to, and it's just beachy. It's beautiful. It's kind of like a little piece of Fiji off to the side for us because where we're at is more rocky and the beaches are a little bit different. And so we're on a cruise ship and we're taking a boat at 6 in the morning. We had to leave our little cottage at 4 in the morning to drive and get parking in the middle of the night. And you know how it is when you're standing there and you're shivering and you're cranky. And so we were all trying to kind of enjoy this boat ride, but it was so wavy. And I usually do not get seasick or motion sickness of any sort that I know of. But we were all really sick. Even my dad, who's been on the craziest of boats during his time in Africa, he came up to us because he was sitting on a couple of rows behind us and he was like, "Oh, I feel horrible." And we were just not well. And so, yeah, that's the power of the sea. I just had to throw that in there. It's amazing just, what Mother Nature has. And so as we were, moving along and going, there were so many beautiful pictures of where we were staying and the view from the ship towards the island. And so Alan had been up there taking so many photos. He was just all into it. And I was just sitting at my seat and I was like, oh, I just don't want to move. But he's like, "Monica, you have to come up and see this." And so I went up and I was so glad that I did. I was so glad that he asked me to do that. And once I got up there, I thought, oh my goodness, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking. And you got to see, what the island looks like from our side. And I just thought it was just incredible, just beautiful. So as we were doing this, I thought, let's take a selfie. And this is what we look like at 6 o'clock in the morning on our way. The wind is blowing. It's crazy. This ship is going pretty fast because it's actually pretty far. It's a 2 hours to get there. And I love it. I love that it's raw and real. I love that our faces are kind of it's not a full-fledged smile, but it's there. And what I wrote for my journaling on this one was, on our way to Port Santo, this was breathtaking. The views on our way to spend Gabriella's birthday on the island that neither of us had ever gone to. You were up on the deck taking photos. Just amazing to see Madeira from the ship. Very windy, kind of cold, but adding so many little memories on this trip. And this photo captures that morning perfectly. And I just love it. And so it's our anniversary. And that's so important. And I think it's very important to also mention that sometimes, and I've said this before, we take our partners for granted or we want to Play-Doh them into something that they aren't. And so accepting them and loving them unconditionally like you do your children, like you do your siblings, like you do your pets, right? You know that when you get a pet, for example, and that's why I kind of said it because it's a little bit more neutral, because sometimes we don't have the best of relationships with our siblings or our parents and whatnot. And so you kind of want to translate that to the same feeling you have with your partner. But when you get a pet, you kind of just conform to that. If your cat doesn't like a certain cat food, you don't go out and buy it and sit there and say, well, you have to eat it. No, you kind of cater to that and you're like, oh no, my cat only likes to eat this certain brand and this makes them happy, and my cat likes to come over and roll over on its belly and it loves belly rubs at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 7:30. And we're very in tune to that. We're very in tune to just allowing them to just be a cat. Like, we're not expecting the cat to like stop everything and change and not want the belly rubs, at 3 and 7:30. We just do it because it makes them happy, and we are happy to see them happy, and we understand that they are just a cat. And so I know it sounds crazy because everything I ever say is crazy, but I promise you somehow it does make sense. And what I want to say is that if we start to try and open up our minds to a partner that would be able to just be themselves, and there would be less push and pull, I think our relationships would be happier. And it's not easy to do that. I realize that because I have a realistic marriage, and there are some things that, compromise I just can't live with. And, he understands that about me, and I understand that about him. And then there's the 5 things that we always argue about, because those are the 5 things we're never going to settle on, but they're not major ones. Because truthfully, if those are really that important to you, then I ultimately don't think it will work. If it's something that really, really bothers you at the core of you, that they're either disrespectful to you or in a sense that it is not a healthy relationship. So I'm not talking about that. I'm really talking about just the little things and, that make a difference to the person that you found. So for me, I know that this weekend, hopefully, we'll be having some time to ourselves just to reminisce and remember how special things were. And that's the other part, is making time for that, is making time to just drop, stop, and roll, literally, right? Roll whatever way you want to. And so that's also important, is to nurture and to make time for the belly rubs and to make time to get their special treat and just to do what we did. Because I remember when we were dating, like, everything was so magical and everything was so much fun, right? You could run and just, do everything. Oh, Alan's coming over. Let me get him his favorite treats, his favorite snacks, just to make him happy, right? And now there's always this force, this difference. But truthfully, he's such an amazing partner. And I am struggling with this layout. As you can see, I'm just, trying to figure out what I want to do using these leftover pieces of paper. I've got all kinds of little pieces of, mix match stuff, and it's literally drawing from all angles. And it's like a marriage. I'm just trying to make everything come together and work together. And I'm always trying to save these little pieces off to the side. As you see, I was just doing some torn edges and stuff like that. So I think somewhere halfway into this, I'm not sure if it was before this or a video that I've cut into, I do believe that I break into a Hip Kit embellishment pack that I had because I needed something else. I needed to bring in more embellishments. And I think this was the layout where I was just like, okay, I'm done. There's just not enough stuff on my counter or just not enough stuff on my desk that makes it easy for me to put stuff together. And the leaves don't really go because we're out at sea, but I tried anyway. And so, yeah, you've got to love your partners. Make time for them. And it is a process. And I was in the lunchroom the other day at work, and we were just talking about, I was mentioning about our anniversary and how we were going to have some time together. And I see all these young people around me who are in relationships and they have partners of their own. And I think that sometimes we forget to talk about the everyday struggle. And I hate using struggle because it's not a struggle. It's just everyday normal things. We're so attuned to the perfection of Instagram or social media where everything looks amazing and everything is perfect. And that's kind of why I picked this, this photograph to kind of, the hair is out of place. It's the morning face. I can totally tell you these are morning faces. These are not like, this isn't the glamour shot. And so, but it's realistic. And I think that because if we don't speak enough of our truths within our relationships and what those daily relationships tasks look like to keep yourself going within that, then you have nothing to look to as an example as to whether or not your situation is healthy or not. And I mean healthy in the sense that, is everybody else doing what I'm doing? Is everybody else also feeling what I'm feeling? Because there is a sense of calm when we all can say, yeah, I know how you feel. Yes, I struggle with my partner like that. Or yes, we need to make time for each other or else we get, angry and cranky when we're just, focusing on the kids and work and work and work. And so there has to be a sense of accountability for all of us within our communities and our lunchrooms, on our social media and everywhere that we go, that we somehow remind and show everyone what it is that we're doing, what it is that it's taking us to continuously hold on to or keep, our marriages or our partnerships or our relationships, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is that's meaningful to you. This is what it takes. It takes me forcing myself to get up off my chair, even though I don't want to, because he's asking me to come up and see what he's seeing, because he truly believes that I'm going to love the view, and I did. It's me being okay with just taking a picture at 6 o'clock in the morning, even though I know my hair is not in its right place and my face is kind of puffy and all, that's what I call it, it's remembering that giddiness that you had when you first met each other, or that giddiness that brought you together. It's just remembering to basically and simply love each other, right? And I know it's been like months before, since I've made any videos, and I come back here and all I start talking about is love. Yeah, that's my whole life purpose. Love, 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 and more love. You just gotta love. It's that simple. Yes, just, get your partner their favorite treat this weekend. Go out and surprise them with just a little bag of Skittles or whatever makes them giddy. Watch the smile, right? Sit with them and watch a ridiculous movie and laugh and giggle with them and just look at them in the face. Watch the smile. It's so basic and it's so hard to do because we have laundry and blah, 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 and the kids. I get it. I have the same life. But one baby step. I'm not saying every day. 1 hour this weekend. One little snack. Your partner's favorite snack. Make time for that. And it's not just your partner that you're healing, it's yourself. It's not just your partner that you're loving, it's yourself. It's creating a purpose and a reminder of why you're in this relationship to begin with. It's reminding you of that passion, of that care. Because when we take care for strangers, why don't we take care for our loved ones close to home? And I hope that makes sense. And I hope that you all have, 5 minutes this weekend, 20 minutes, an hour is a lot. Please do it. Just make time for each other. I'm coming to the end of this and I'm still playing with that stupid leaf. I don't think it makes it. Does it? Let me look. No, it doesn't make it. And that also that big envelope with the cameras on it doesn't make it either. I changed it out. I think it was taking too much attention off of what I was trying to do. The layout turns out a little bit softer. I change it for a smaller pocket. But yeah, I'm struggling. I'm struggling to come back to the scrapbooking. I'm struggling to find my groove, but I think it's after a few of these that I finally just let go and come back. And I love that challenge. I love that it truly makes me remind myself that everything in this life is a practice and an exercise. Making time to scrapbook, making time to exercise, making time for the one you love, all of it. But I hope that you're inspired to see my truths. I hope that you completely understand where I come from and remind yourself to totally love each other again. The world needs so much love. It's such a beautiful place and we found each other. Let's cherish that. So yes, see, this is where I change it out. And I love that there's the Project Life cards that I've been using. I've purposely used the ones that have the little titles on this. So like this happened. It's great. It's beautiful. And I like that. I have to actually sit down and make more pockets. I think I've run out of them after doing these 10 layouts. And all the little tags that I brought in with the stamp that says together. That A is from like a poolside collection. It's so old. All the little bits and pieces. It's like, what am I doing? I think I add in some washi tape somewhere. Maybe there's a piece of footage that's missing. I'm not sure. But now the pictures are going to come up and this is the end of that. And I'm not going to bore you anymore. But I love the way it turned out. There's that washi tape that I pulled in from the hip kit because there just wasn't enough on my desk to bring everything all together. And yeah, make time. Take time because as you know, this hobby heals. and I will see you all very, very soon.